Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's so good to be back with our first food recipe for the year. I made this delicious coconut rice recipe for my family and they loved it, and I thought I should share with you. So if you're meeting this channel for the first time, kindly subscribe and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I drop a new video. As you can see in my pot, I added some oil and I added some onion for flavor. I allowed it heat up a little, then I went in with my protein. I'm using chicken for this recipe. Then I allowed it fry a while and I turned it so that the other part will fry. I fried it till it became brown. So after it browned, I now took it out. Look at what we have. Look at this goodness here. Look at this goodness. So after, in an empty pot, I added some of the oil from the fried chicken for flavor. Then I went in with butter. It is so good to use butter to cook. It takes your food from a 0 to 100. So I just stirred the butter with the oil together so that they could mix, and I allowed it for some time so that the butter could dissolve properly. So I went in with some herbs which will be listed in the description box. I allowed the spring onion, bay leaf and the thyme to saute for a while. Guys, if you notice, I don't add any curry because curry is a strong spice. So when you're cooking something like coconut rice, you might as well leave it out. Then I added some of my washed rice into the pot and I toasted the rice. The plan is to mix the rice with the herbs so that the flavors would infuse together. At this point, I added my seasoning cube. I had to dissolve it because these seasoning cubes these days is always very difficult to crush. So I dissolve mine inside water so that I can use it. So after adding my seasoning cubes, I went in with my chicken stock. Then I went in with our superstar for the day, which is coconut milk. Guys, I always advise that you use the fresh coconut milk, but I always use the processed one because that is what I can find in my location. So after that, I stirred everything together and I gave it a few minutes to simmer so that the coconut will mix with the rice before adding any other thing. After then, I went in with some seasoning, a lot of Cameroon pepper, guys, because coconut milk has a way of making you feel somehow, so I like it very hot. Then I went in with my hot water. It's always good to cook with hot water so that you can, when you add cold water, most times it shocks the rice. So at this point the rice is done, so I had to fluff it so that the rice will not gum together. After fluffing it for a while, I took it down. Then I brought back my frying pan and added some of my chicken flavored oil. At this point, I had shrimps in the fridge, so I went in with my shrimps. I just fried it for a bit. As you can see, I took it out almost immediately. Then I went in with my liver. What is fried rice without liver, guys? So I added it quickly and fried it till it was dry. I like my liver very, very dry, so I allowed it dry. Then I took it out. At this point, guys, the oil was not looking good, so I had to change the oil and I added some butter. Then I still added a little of the the seasoned oil. Then I stirred everything together and I still added some little spring onions. Guys, I now went in with my veggies. I'm using carrots, red bell peppers, and spring onions because that's what I had available in my location. I stirred everything together and I allowed it stir fry for a bit. I didn't fry it so much. Then at this point I added some more seasoning. Guys, everything I'll be using for this recipe, I'm going to list it in the description box so that you will see it when you want to cook. At this point I returned my liver and my shrimps. Then I added some more seasoning. Then I allowed everything cook for a while. I added salt at this point. Then I allowed everything cook together. I added some more pepper for heat. Then I stirred everything finely to combine. At this point, I knew I needed some more seasoning cube. So I went in with some additional seasoning cube to make sure the food is tasty. Then I went in with some sweet corn, guys, for color, and then for the taste I stirred it gently just for a little while. Guys, look at what we have. This is looking beautiful already. Then I returned back my already cooked coconut rice, and at this point I poured in my vegetables to the already prepared rice. Guys, this meal was very nice. It was delicious. This is me trying to mix the vegetables and the rice, and at this point I realized that this was not the right pot to use, but guys, what can I do? So at the end of the day, the food turned out so perfect and nice. Are you going to try this recipe? Are you going to try this recipe? Thank you guys for watching. Kindly subscribe if you've not. See you guys.